Welcome back to another year of CKPG Today. We've officially made it into 2025 with some all new fresh features you're going to be excited to see today, including if you're feeling a little cold. We're going to talk about installation, and we're also going to talk to the Omineca Artist in Residence of the Month. All that and more coming up on CKPG Today. Prince George doesn't exactly scream art, does it? It's a cold, rural place, but there's a lot of artists here, which makes a great topic for this month's Local Artist Spotlight. It's Linda Abbott here at the Omineca Arts Centre. Let's go ahead inside and meet her. Now inside the Omineca Arts Centre here with Linda Abbott, the Artist of the Month, Artist in Residence here. Linda, thanks so much for making the time.
Oh, thanks for interviewing us.
So tell me a little bit about your art here and what people can expect to see inside the Omineca Arts Centre.
Well, most of my art is done either mixed media or in acrylic, but I've recently taken up oils and I'm trying to get a handle on that because I really love the richness of the pigments in oils. And I like challenges, I guess. Yeah.
What's the hardest thing to work with? Like, I mean, lots of artists say, oils or paints for them, or some stick to the typical pencil, pen. But what do you found the easiest and what do you found the hardest?
Well, I've been painting since a child, really, off and on though, with acrylics and of course watercolors. Everyone gets into watercolors because they're inexpensive and they're very pretty. But more recently, challenging. I found oils very challenging. I was terrified, but I had a great teacher, and it's kind of like painting with icing, but it's very different.
Okay, yeah. Painting with icing, like really, you got to be really careful what you do, I guess. Is that?
A lot of it's technique. One trick is to, if you want to put more paint on while you're still painting al fresco and the paint's still wet, then you want to apply it with the side of your brush.
Oh, okay.
But if you tackle it with the tip, then you're just going to scrape the paint off. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
So little things that make the big difference.
Yes, because oils are going to take a lot longer to dry, and acrylics 10 minutes later you can start slapping on more layers if you choose.
Makes sense. Okay, so when you walk around the Omineca Arts Centre, you see a couple different styles of art. I understand you've dabbled a little bit in landscapes, some more realistic stuff as well. Do you have a favorite in that type?
Yes, I love painting landscapes. I love making vegetation come to life. I always have. I don't know why. It's just something that really kind of thrills me.
Maybe it's about living in northern BC. I mean, you got to love it a little bit.
I was contemplating that recently, and I've always lived on the edge of a forest or in the prairies. And if my husband had it his way, we'd be living way out in the sticks, but that's a little bit too far for me.
Well, it's fair. No one likes shoveling or snowblowing along driveways, so.
Yeah. But where we are, we have moose and a bear, of course, and like lots of bunnies and stuff running around. Aside from landscapes, I'm also having a lot of fun with abstract.
Okay.
And of course fantasy, but especially abstract because it's more just doing intuitively and loosening up. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
And you bring back the freshness into some of the more studied works by hanging loose sometimes.
Also, you're doing part of the Artist in Residence program here. Got some workshops, got some time in the studio here. Talk to me a little bit about what you look forward to kind of talking to people or helping them with.
Anything they have questions with. My workshop will be on color. I've got some exciting ideas that I didn't learn in art school, but I did pick up from books and other artists, and how to create more unity in paintings. And I'm really happy to share that. I fully believe that every artist that grows and is promoted, we're promoting, like we get a chance to grow together, because then it expands the public's awareness and appreciation of art. And it doesn't make it seem so distant and like elitist.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay, I like that. That's good. What would your advice be for young artists, I guess, out there watching this?
Oh,
or I guess not, it doesn't have to be young. Maybe artists starting out.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Take time in just playing around and trying different mediums, and take advice, but like it's wonderful to learn the techniques and the, what would you say, just the information you need to know about how to deal with the materials, more technical stuff, but stay genuine. Sometimes, you know, your painting might look like something a 12-year-old did, but that could actually contain something really fresh and vital that if you go do a deep dive and keep going in that direction, will be something very unique to you. So I never say, no, that's not right, to another painter. Like, just go for it and believe in yourself, because it will develop and it will blossom if you just stick with it.
I like it. That's a great outlook. Thanks for your time today, Linda, and congratulations on being the artist in residence here in January.
Local Artist Spotlight on CKPG Today is brought to you by Omineca Arts Centre, a safe space for creativity to flourish.
There's a lot of things here in the winter people in Prince George can agree on. One of those, it's cold. And one of the ways you can kind of prevent being cold, I mean, I'm cold right now, is insulation. You don't get it outside, but you get it inside if you do it properly anyways. We're going to talk about that on today's edition of Home Improvement, brought to you by the Canadian Home Builders Association in Northern BC. I say let's go to the warehouse here at Rona Capital Building Supplies and check out more. All right, come on. Inside the warehouse here at Rona in Prince George, and you gotta be wondering, it's cold outside. You might need some more insulation if it's cold inside.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Gary?
We're standing inside of an uninsulated warehouse, so it is a little bit chilly in here. Even though it's like 1 degree outside, it's probably minus 10 in here. Insulation does, you know, make your home way more comfortable to live in, and it's a very easy thing to put in. It's a very easy thing to kind of update to down the road if you're doing renovations.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, well, let's start with R value, because this is a thing. You got to know this to kind of get a starting point for what you're buying. Where do you start with R value? What is it?
So R value is the ability of a insulation to keep heat out and cold air in. Very simple. Now, there's a very highly educated, engineered definition, but it's really would get lost in translation. But it really what it is the higher R value you have, the better the insulation is, and the better its ability to keep the heat out or to keep the heat in, depending on what time of the year we're in. So our values are, and it's depicted by a number. So right now we're talking, we build a lot of houses, the exterior framework is a 2x6, so that's a 5.5 inch gap. So we can put an R20, R22, R24 in that gap. Back in the old days, like pre-80s, we had 2x4 construction, which is a 3.5 inch gap, and we only could put R12 in there. So again, that's part of that deal. And there were some experimentations. I remember looking at a house years ago that the walls were like this thick, because this was this big experiment about trying to figure out what was going to work and what wasn't. Turned out it's what you're getting in an R20, R24 in a 2x6 wall is perfect for where we live.
Yeah, Prince George, big temperature swing, so you got to be prepared for it all. We're standing in front of this Rockwell stuff here today. Well, walk me through a little bit, Gary, about the different types. Start with Rockwell.
Sure. So Rockwell is a mineral-based product. So it's about 60% post-consumer recyclable in it. So it does, yes, which is pretty good. The old school fiberglass stuff is about 30 to 40%. It is more money than fiberglass. Okay. It's a little bit denser. It has a little bit higher R value. It will give you a little better sound deadening. So say, for instance, if you have a suite in your basement, right? And you've got this stuff in the ceiling cavities, you'll see a way less noise penetration on both sides of that wall or ceiling or floor because of that Rockwell.
Interesting.
They do it. This is a bat version. We have it in a compressed board version. So there, and again, lots of different sizes. It's always sized specifically for what we're trying to do. So we have a 16-inch center or a 24-inch center. There's the general framing principles that they use when they build a house. So it's cut and built and ready to go right in there.
Interesting. Second piece, do you want to go up there or stay down here?
We'll just, if he wants to pan up there, we can.
Let's go pan up there, producer Zach. That's way up there. You can see it. It's kind of is this an older type of insulation?
Yeah, it's been around a long time. So you'll see there's pink stuff in the market. This stuff is made by John Mansville. It is the most popular. I think it's because it's cost effective. It's considerably less than what Rockwell is. It does a fine job of and it's, again, you're achieving 10% less R value than Rockwell, but we're still above what the code says. So codes for BC in our zone is R40 in the ceilings and R20 in the walls. So we're talking above an attic space. So the walls for sure we're hitting R22, R24, R20 with this stuff fairly easily.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
all makes sense. There's one other piece of exterior insulation here. You
Yeah.
might have seen this on a house. I say we'll reset outside and
Sure.
show this off.
You bet.
All right. So if you're seeing a house being renovated, a building being renovated, you probably see some of this going up on the exterior, right, Gary?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of new construction will use it. If you're renovating and you're going to say put in new windows and siding on your home, this is another product. This is called Xterra. So this is a high density foam product. It goes on, it's a 4x8 sheet, so it's very easy to work with, and it's kind of designed that way to fit in how we build houses. So Xterra is a high density foam that gives us about R5 per inch, and you could, so again, what you're trying to achieve and what you want to put into the home, and insulation's an investment. Truly it is. If you don't pay for it today, you'll pay for it later in energy costs. So
Right.
you might as well do it while it's sitting there and ready to go. So this stuff is R5 per inch. We have some lower density product at around 2.5 per inch. Mostly that's used for like underground stuff. Like
Right.
if you're insulating the foundation and we've backfilled it all, you got to put it all back together. We'll use a low density foam there.
Gotcha. The other cool thing about this, Gary, is, I mean, the viewers, it's hard to understand how light this is, but if we let this go, it would blow
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Like, it's crazy light.
So this stuff nails on, screws on, glues on. We have specific adhesives for this product because regular glue will have a tendency to eat the foam product. So we want to make sure you're always using the right product. That's why you need to come talk to us. We'll give you all the detail how to do it right.
Awesome. Okay, well, a lot of R talk, so I'll give you one more R wrap it up here today, Gary. Sorry, bad joke, but
That's wonderful. Thanks for the opportunity. Always great to talk to you and your people.
thanks for coming on another edition of Home Improvement here on CKPG Today.
Home Improvement on CKPG Today is brought to you by the Canadian Home Builders Association of Northern BC. Look for the logo, the sign of Canada's home building professionals.
Miss an episode? That's okay, life gets busy. We get it. Or maybe you didn't miss anything, but you're here to watch that one feature again because honestly, it was that good. No judgment. Here's the good news. You can relive every moment of the CKPG Today Show whenever you want. Head over to ckpgtoday.ca, click on the Today Show tab, and voila. So grab some snacks, kick back, and binge away because let's face it, life's too short to miss out on great local TV. As the temperatures dip here in January, the hope is, anyways, that the sky's clear and you can get a look at some winter constellations, perhaps some northern lights. Malhar Kendikar from the Prince George Astronomical Society, and to talk a little bit more about that. Thanks for coming in today, Malhar.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, winter, I guess in theory it's cold, but there is a silver lining when it comes to looking above.
That's right. I mean,
Hopefully.
lately it hasn't been, it's been terrible for clear skies, but usually, well, sometimes we do have beautiful clear night, like just few days ago.
Yep.
When it was really cold, the sky was really good. It was clear, and the northern lights were out too. So we just had a, I think, X1 or X2 class solar flare. So the northern
always
lights
nice to see
were.
those.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you guys recently held a thing at the public library for people wanting to learn more about winter constellations. There's more coming up, of course, at the observatory as well here in January. But walk me through, I guess, like where we live here in Prince George, winter is a very good part of the year, despite the temperature, to be able to look skyward. Walk me through the importance of that and what you can kind of see.
Yeah, so it is good, because we are 54 degrees, 53.5-ish degrees north. So that means during winter months we have less sun. So we have about 4.5-ish hours of daylight, and then for the rest of 20 hours or 18, 19 hours, we have basically dark skies. And there's just so much to see when the sky is clear and when it's not too cold, because you don't want to be uncomfortable when you're out.
Nope. Yeah.
Or get a frostbite. So you want to be, the temperature needs to be at least relatively okay that you can actually handle it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, -5 or something like that.
I was going to say probably down to -15, and then it starts to get a little chilly to the observatory.
Oh yes, yes it does. We can't. Yeah, I can't open the dome when it's -10. But there is just so much to see, and in terms of constellations, like we have Orion constellation, which is one of the most famous constellations, as we know. Then there is Canis Major, Canis Minor, and in the Orion constellation, you can see Orion Nebula, which is actually visible to the naked eye. From
wow. Okay, so some of these are. Yeah, I was going to say, when a
Yeah.
clear sky, clear night in the winter, I feel like you could see some of them kind of.
That's right. That's right. And we got M42, also known as Orion Nebula. Then we have Pleiades, or M45, which is close to Taurus constellation, I believe.
Yep.
That is an open cluster with all the hot blue supergiant star O-type and A-type stars. And then we also have M44, which is the Beehive star cluster in Cancer. I'm trying to remember some of the
Yeah,
constellations.
no worries. No, there's a lot
and
of crazy names and numbers associated.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to bring up as you continue to think on that is it's pretty cool nowadays. You can take your phone as well with an app and kind of look up. It helps you see it a little bit as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. There are a couple applications like the Sky Map and the Night Sky applications for Androids or iPhones.
Yep.
And yeah, you can just point your phone in any direction, and it will give you the exact name of the constellation, what stars are in the constellations, and planets if there are any. But right now, it's a really good time to look at the planets because the Saturn is visible, Mars is going to be visible, Jupiter is visible. Early in the evening, you can see Venus in the southwestern sky, which is really bright. So it's when the sky is clear, it's very noticeable.
Perfect
So
conditions.
yeah, don't miss out those opportunities.
I want to ask you here, I like to pick your brain, Malhar, because I mean, we know that you love supernovas and these kind of things, but do you have a favorite constellation or planet to look at, and why?
Oh,
I'm putting you on the spot here, but.
yeah. Well, one of my favorite constellations is Ophiuchus,
Okay.
which is in the Sagittarius. Well, which is
I won't make
in
you
the
spell it, don't worry.
galactic. I can't spell that. Which is in the galactic plane of our Milky Way galaxy. And the reason behind that because there is a very interesting star in there called RS Ophiuchus. It's a recurrent nova, but not a supernova. But that goes into periodic outburst every 15.25 years.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So it's rare, wow.
It is, yeah. And so that's why I like that constellation. And Sagittarius, of course, because that's the center of our Milky Way galaxy where the Sagittarius A-star black hole is. And the favorite planet to observe, I'll probably say Saturn.
Okay.
Because of the rings.
The rings, I was going to say, is that
Yeah.
something to do with the rings, yeah?
Yeah, because when you see the rings, you know, in the picture, okay, sure,
Yeah.
they look pretty neat, but when you actually see the planet in real time, and they're just something else.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in today.
Yeah.
Great chatting with you as always. Of course, if you have any questions about constellations, what you're looking at above the sky, if you want to maybe have a look with some assistance, head out to the Prince George Astronomical Society in the observatory. It's right nearby Prince George Westlake Way. And yeah, hopefully we can spot some cool things together, Malhar. Maybe I'll send you some photos, you send me some of yours. And
Absolutely.
I don't know if we'll find any supernovas, but...
I will find more supernovas.
You will. You will. Thanks. Time to take a look outside at today's CKPG Snapshot. This one comes to us courtesy of Douglas Harris. Beautiful winter sunset here. Yeah, aren't they gorgeous this time of year? You don't even have to stay up late to see them. Maybe, not a bad thing, but they are beautiful. So thanks so much, Douglas, for sending this one in. If you have a great snapshot, share it with us. We'd love to see it. Send it by email, snapshot@ckpg.com. Hey there, got an idea or suggestion for the show? Reach out and connect through our social media or send us an email at letstalk@ckpgtoday.ca. Here are some things to do coming up in our community. Check out the Caledonia Nordic Ski Club January 13th all the way till February 23rd for the Grand Tour of Caledonia. The event back for another year, a good reason to get out in the fresh air and celebrate with some cross-country skiing. Shifting over to Kiwanis Ale Fest 2025. It's the 9th year of the event. 50 different craft beverages are ready for your taste buds. You can get your tickets while they last online. Celebrate the success of the Prince George Symphony Orchestra on Robbie Burns Evening, January 25th at the Coast Hotel. This is your chance to try the one and only savory dish Scotland knows and loves, haggis. And the Prince George Cougars are set to wear some very special Indigenous jerseys designed by artist Kobe Antoine of the Lake Babine Nation during Indigenous Weekend, January 24th and 25th at the CN Centre. As always, if you have an event, send us the info. Let's talk at ckpgtoday.ca. There's signs all over the city. You might have seen them, you might not have. It's all about the Neighborhood Watch. It's a big thing that exists today, open. You can sign up, be a part of it. And we're going to look at the push for the little bit of the creation or the building of momentum of that Neighborhood Watch today in local history. Today in local history, we look back to 1978. The Neighborhood Watch was popular, trendy back in 1978, especially in the Lakewood area. 120 people showed up to a public event to learn about it because, well, they all wanted their neighborhood to be a little safer. Of course, the Neighborhood Watch program has now turned into the Block Watch program run by community policing here in Prince George. So the legend lives on. Yeah, the Neighborhood Watch, very important part of our community. Of course, keeps everyone a little bit safer, and hey, we could all use that today in today's world. But yeah, hope you learned something today. Well, there's a little bit about insulation, maybe winter constellations. Of course, you can watch anytime, again, at ckpgtoday.ca. But in the meantime, we'll let you go, and we'll see you for more great stuff again tomorrow. All right? See you. Bye.